During this demonstration, I'm going to play the role of a business analyst who's responsible for writing complete requirements, producing specification documents quickly, and obtaining sign-off on those requirements. We're going to see how Raven Professional helps the business analyst to complete these tasks faster and with greater accuracy. Let's say that I've just returned to my desk after a requirements elicitation meeting with my project stakeholders. During the meeting, I took notes on my laptop. My task now is to make something comprehensible of these notes and show it to my subject matter experts for validation. I know that the subject matter experts prefer reviewing requirements in diagram form to wading through pages of text, but modeling is such a time-consuming effort that I dread the thought of building these models in Visio. Let's take a look at how we can use Raven to visualize my processes. The first thing I need to do is create a new process for the project I'm working on. The project is called PAS Business Process Flows. PAS stands for Policy Administration System. I'll call my process Customer Search. When I do this, notice that the text and diagram panels come to life. That's all it takes, a couple of quick steps, and I'm ready to enter in my process text and start generating models. I'm just going to copy in the notes that I took earlier. And when I click the Model button, Raven instantly generates diagrams corresponding to the text that I entered in the text panel. Let's take a closer look at these diagrams. This is the activity diagram. It includes a column, or swim lane, for each of the actors that Raven has identified in our process. In this case, we have two, the user and the policy administration system. And all of the activities performed by either actor appear in the appropriate swim lane in sequential order from top to bottom. Each activity described in my text appears as a box in the activity diagram. See, my first sentence says, "The user performs the login process." So Raven placed a box with that activity at the top of the user's swim lane. Raven also creates a responsibility diagram which lists all of the activities by role. This provides a summary view of all the activities a particular actor or system is responsible for in the use case. Let's look again at the activity diagram. Notice that Raven has highlighted this area of the diagram in red. This indicates that Raven recognizes a missing or ambiguous step here. The visual indication is particularly useful during live sessions, as it draws attention to areas that may require further discussion or clarification. I can also see a list of the missing requirements that Raven detects in the text by opening the specification checker. Here, Raven alerts us to a flow break in our process, and in this case I can tell it's because I failed to specify a target in the second sentence. That is, I should explicitly state that the user inputs the search criteria to the PAS. Anytime there are implicit inputs or outputs to or from an actor or system, Raven will remind us to more clearly describe the exchange. To fix this, I'll just update the sentence in the text panel, adding "to the PAS" at the end. And when I press the Model button again, Raven updates the diagram, and this requirement is more explicitly depicted. And Raven also removes the flow break alert from our list. But there's still one more missing requirement listed here. It's an incomplete conditional. We've included a decision point and specified the true path, but we've not said what should happen if this condition is not met. That is, if the user does find the desired customer on the search results list. The false path is a missing requirement that we need to capture. Notice the suggestion button here. Raven not only shows you where you have missing requirements, it also offers suggestions about how to amend the text. This dialog box shows your original text in the top part. Raven suggests a fix in the middle part here. And the bottom part lets you modify the correction if necessary. We saw in the diagram that we need to add a false path to this decision point, and the suggestion box prompts us to do that. Otherwise, the user does what? You could leave it that way for the subject matter experts to review, or if you know the answer or have the subject matter experts in the room, you can fix it on the spot. Let's say the user selects the customer in PAS. When I click the Change button, Raven will automatically update the text panel and remodel it to update the diagram. Notice that we now have both a true and a false path, and the incomplete conditional has disappeared from the specification checker list. We now have a clean process. Let's take a look back at my original notes now. In addition to the customer search process that we just analyzed in Raven, I have a sub-process that I also want to model, the privacy notice process. Raven makes it easy to indicate the relationship between a process and a sub-process, or between a main flow and an alternate flow. I'm going to copy this text and then return to Raven. Notice that I referenced this privacy notice sub-process here in my customer search process. So I'd like to link this activity to the sub-process. If I right-click on this box, I can create a new sub-process. I'll call it privacy notice. This gives me a clean text area for this sub-process. And now, just like I did before, I'll paste the process text into the Raven text panel and press the model button. Raven allows me to very easily include screenshots or other images by attaching an illustration to an activity diagram. In this case, I have an image of the privacy notice that should be sent to new customers. When I attach it, Raven includes it as a thumbnail image attached to the activity. I can view the full-size image just by double-clicking on it. You can see how easy it is to develop requirements with Raven. It doesn't require any special keywords. I don't need to pre-program any words into Raven or build a dictionary ahead of time. I can use abbreviations and other terms that are unique to my company without any advanced setup. Raven Professional maintains multiple glossaries that can be shared across projects. Your company will likely have a corporate standard glossary pre-established to help enforce consistency on your projects. As you model your processes, Raven builds a list of terms and phrases it encounters, and you can easily add these to the glossary if desired. Here, under the glossary menu, is a list of the terms in my current project. I can add a free-form description, indicate whether a term is an actor, and assign an acronym, and then I can add any or all of these terms to the glossary assigned to my project. When I generate the specification document for this process, Raven includes the glossary of terms. Let's do that now. Raven generates a specification document at the project or process level. To create one for this project, I'll simply right-click on the project in the Project Explorer and select the Specification Builder option. The Specification Builder asks me to select which artifacts from the project to include in the document. I can simply deselect anything I don't want. Raven comes with a default specification template. Select either the Word 2003 or the Word 2007 version and press OK. I ran Specification Builder earlier, so let's take a look at the finished document here. You can see that we have a table of contents, a title page, the glossary of terms, the terms that are described here appear in the document. All of the text from Raven and the diagrams for my entire project are laid out in a very nice, easy to understand fashion. Now you've seen how a business analyst can use Raven Professional to easily generate process diagrams, find gaps and ambiguities, and fill in missing requirements quickly and accurately. And I also showed you how to turn the results into a finished specification document at the touch of a button. Thanks for watching today.